The idea that we all need to drink 8 glasses of water a day is one of the most persistent pieces of health advice out there. It's simple, it's memorable, and it feels right. 8 glasses, 8 ounces each. It's called the 8x8 rule. The problem is, it's not really based on solid scientific evidence. Its origins are surprisingly murky, and its widespread acceptance has more to do with a combination of misinterpretation and marketing than with any specific medical consensus. The most likely source for this idea traces back to a 1945 recommendation from the Food and Nutrition Board of the National Research Council in the United States. They stated that a suitable allowance of water for adults is 2.5 liters a day for most instances. That's about 84.5 ounces, which is pretty close to the 64 ounces of the 8x8 rule. But there was a crucial sentence that followed, a sentence that has been almost completely ignored for decades. It said, and this is the important part, most of this quantity is contained in prepared foods. They weren't saying you need to drink 8 glasses of pure water on top of everything else. They were talking about total water consumption from all sources: coffee, tea, juice, soda, and even, and especially, the water embedded in the food we eat. An apple is about 85% water. A cucumber is 96%. A serving of roast chicken is still over 60% water. These things count. The original recommendation was a broad statement about total fluid intake, not a prescription for chugging glass after glass of plain water.
So, how did that crucial context get lost? It's hard to say for sure, but advice tends to get simplified as it's passed down. Consume 2.5 liters of total water from all sources is complicated. Drink 8 glasses of water is simple. Over time, the nuance was sanded off until only the easy-to-remember rule remained.
This lingering bit of folk wisdom then got a massive boost from the burgeoning bottled water industry. Starting in the 1990s, companies like Perrier, Evian, and later the giants like Coca-Cola with Dasani and Pepsi with Aquafina needed to create a market. They needed to convince people to buy something they could get for free from a tap. And one of the most effective ways to do that was to subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, promote the idea that we are all in a state of chronic, low-grade dehydration. They sponsored studies, ran ad campaigns showing vibrant, energetic people clutching water bottles, and reinforced the 8x8 rule until it became an unquestioned truth. The message was clear: tap water is suspect, and you are not drinking enough. The solution, conveniently, was a plastic bottle of their purified, branded water. But to really understand the water question, we need to look past the marketing and the myths and look at the actual human body. Our bodies are incredibly sophisticated when it comes to managing hydration. We're not like a car that you just top up with gas. We are a finely tuned biological system that has evolved over millions of years to maintain a precise fluid balance, a state called homeostasis. The star players in this system are your brain and your kidneys. Deep inside your brain, you have specialized sensors called osmoreceptors. These microscopic sentinels are constantly monitoring the concentration of your blood. When you start to get dehydrated, you lose water from your blood, which makes it slightly more concentrated with salts and other solutes. These osmoreceptors detect this tiny change and trigger 2 powerful responses. First, they create the sensation of thirst. Thirst isn't just a dry mouth. It's a complex neurological drive, as powerful as hunger or the need to sleep. It's your brain's primary alert system, screaming, "Find and drink some fluid now." It's an incredibly reliable mechanism. For the vast majority of healthy adults, by the time you feel thirsty, you're already in the process of self-correcting. Drinking to a schedule is often unnecessary. Drinking when you're thirsty is usually enough. The second response is hormonal. The brain releases a hormone called vasopressin, also known as antidiuretic hormone, or ADH. This hormone travels through the bloodstream down to your kidneys. The kidneys are your body's master filtration plant. They process about 180 liters of blood every single day, filtering out waste products and deciding what to keep and what to excrete as urine. When ADH arrives at the kidneys, it basically tells them to go into water conservation mode. It signals the kidneys to reabsorb more water back into the bloodstream, producing less urine that is more concentrated and darker in color. This is why your urine is dark when you haven't had much to drink. It's your kidneys working perfectly, holding on to precious water. Conversely, when you drink a lot of water, your blood becomes more dilute. The osmoreceptors in your brain sense this. They stop signaling for thirst, and they cut back the release of ADH. Without ADH telling them to conserve water, your kidneys do the opposite. They allow more water to pass through and be excreted, levels within a very narrow, healthy range. So, if our bodies are so good at this, can anything go wrong? Absolutely. Dehydration is a real and serious concern, especially for certain populations, like the elderly, whose thirst mechanism can become less sensitive, young children, and athletes. When you lose more water than you take in, especially during intense exercise, in hot climates, or when you're sick with a fever, vomiting, or diarrhea, that internal system can get overwhelmed. The early signs are familiar: thirst, dry mouth, tiredness, and that dark-colored urine. As it progresses, it can lead to confusion, dizziness, and eventually it can become a life-threatening medical emergency. But there is another side to this coin that gets far less attention: the danger of drinking too much water. It's a condition called hyponatremia, which literally means low sodium in the blood. When you drink an enormous amount of water in a very short period, you can dilute the concentration of sodium and other electrolytes in your bloodstream faster than your kidneys can excrete the excess fluid.
Sodium is critical for nerve function, muscle contraction, and maintaining blood pressure. When its concentration drops too low, water starts to move from the blood into the body's cells, including brain cells, to try and balance the concentration. This causes the cells to swell up. Swelling in most parts of the body isn't a huge problem, but the brain is enclosed in the rigid skull. There's no room for it to expand. This swelling can lead to headaches, nausea, confusion, seizures, coma, and in extreme cases, it can be fatal.
This isn't a risk for someone sipping water throughout the day. It primarily affects endurance athletes, like marathon runners, who might be incorrectly told to drink as much as possible and end up drinking huge volumes of plain water while losing a lot of salt through sweat. There have also been tragic cases stemming from water drinking contests or certain psychological conditions. It's a reminder that when it comes to water, like almost everything in biology, the key is balance, not excess. More is not always better. This brings us back to the central question. If 8 glasses is a myth, what's the right amount? The frustrating but honest answer is it depends. There is no single magic number that works for everyone. The ideal fluid intake is highly individual and depends on at least 4 major factors. First is body size and composition. A larger person generally needs more water than a smaller person. Muscle tissue holds more water than fat tissue, so a more muscular person might also have higher water needs. Second is activity level. If you have a sedentary desk job, your needs will be far lower than someone who is a construction worker or a professional athlete. Exercise generates heat, and the body cools itself by sweating. That sweat is lost water that needs to be replaced. A short walk might not require extra water, but an hour-long, high-intensity workout could cause you to lose a liter of water or more through sweat. Third is the environment. If you live in a hot, humid climate, you will sweat more just sitting around, and you'll need to drink more to compensate. The same is true at high altitudes. The air is drier, and people tend to breathe faster, losing more water vapor with each breath. And fourth, and this is the one people often forget, is your diet. As the 1945 recommendation noted, we get a significant amount of water from our food. If your diet is rich in fruits, vegetables, and things like soups and smoothies, you are getting a lot of hydration built in. If your diet consists mostly of processed foods like bread, chips, and jerky, you'll need to get more of your water from beverages. Coffee and tea also contribute. While caffeine is a mild diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more, studies have shown that the amount of water in a standard cup of coffee or tea far outweighs the mild diuretic effect. It still results in a net fluid gain.
So instead of clinging to a one-size-fits-all rule, a much better approach is to use your body's own built-in gauges. The first and most obvious is thirst. For most healthy people, most of the time, your brain knows what it's doing. If you feel thirsty, drink. It really is that simple. The second gauge is your urine. It's a fantastic, real-time indicator of your hydration status. If your urine is a pale straw or lemonade color, you are well hydrated. If it's dark yellow or amber colored, it's a clear sign from your kidneys that they are conserving water, and you probably need to drink some more. There are exceptions, of course. Certain vitamins, like B vitamins, can turn your urine bright yellow, and some medications can affect its color. But for most people, it's a reliable guide.
Ultimately, the obsession with a specific number of glasses is a distraction. It encourages us to outsource a fundamental bodily intuition to a rigid external rule that doesn't account for individual differences. The human body is not a machine that needs a fixed amount of coolant. It is a dynamic, self-regulating organism. Learning to listen to its signals, the feeling of thirst, the color of your urine, is a far more effective and personalized way to ensure you're getting the right amount of water for you on any given day.